So you can let them in whenever you like.
Okay.
Anita, are you getting any text?
Oh, did I get a text? Let me check real quickly. Well, I checked a few minutes ago. I hadn't seen any text, but let me check right
so
now.
we might, can you just message Steph?
Okay. Let me see if I got a text.
Make
I got an
sure.
email, for sure, but a text message, let's see. Oh, my phone. Oh my God. No, I didn't get a text message. No text message. I'll DM Stephanie.
Okay, I just got the text, Anita. I think you can go ahead.
Okay, but I don't see anybody coming in, but I did text
No,
Stephanie.
oh, you know why? Because you're not, girl, you are not co-host. Hang on one second.
Okay.
I'm messing up big time.
I thought you had already made me, but I didn't check to
We
see.
got the chat.
Okay.
So you should see everybody now.
Yeah,
Anita.
I'm still not seeing anybody. I'm looking at the chat.
Oh, I wonder if it's because I did you afterwards. So you don't see anybody?
No.
Have you been, do you look, can you see co-host?
Let me see if I look at participants or. Oh, wait a minute. I see now. I got them.
Okay.
Okay, I got them.
Good evening, everyone. We're trying out some new music because my music will not cooperate, but good evening, everyone. I'm excited to be here. I hope you all are because I've got a lot to share with you. We have been hard at work. As usual, you know, in WealthyU, we never let up. We're always who's ready to go higher? That's what I want to know. Who is ready? If you're ready to go higher, put higher in the chat if you're ready to go higher, because I am really, really excited. But I need to give y'all some shout outs too. So let me know who's in the room. Yeah, so that's right. Cynthia says she's ready to go higher. Tashima says she's ready to go higher. Roxanne said going higher. Oh, excellent. Lisa says she purchased the Wealth Secrets book and she's reading it right now. That's fantastic. Rorette says ready to go higher. Laura Hayden higher. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, I just want you to know, guys, we never stop in WealthyU. And what I want you to know and what I'm going to be sharing with you this evening is I have such a sense of urgency around just staying on mission, staying on assignment. And the fact that all of you are here certainly has validated that we are on assignment, because of course, what you all need to understand is it takes teamwork to make this dream work. And so as a result of that, I'm excited. We've got new ambassadors that are starting with us. I'm excited about that. My husband says, you use excited so much, because I am, guys. Anybody like me where you got to talk to yourself, you know, you got to affirm yourself. And because sometimes, can I be real? Who wants me to reel? If you guys want me to put real in the chat before I even start our WealthyU wind down. If you want me to put real in the chat. You want me to be real with no chaser. Excellent. Lamerle says yes. Rorette said real. Lamerle says yes, real. All right. Shanice says real. What I want all of you to know is that the reason I have such a sense of urgency is because you guys see everything that's going on in like political realm, the states, the Supreme Court rolling back, all of these things that my parents and maybe your grandparents died for, right? And what I've had in the back of my mind, and I think I shared this with all of you, that from a very young age, I knew that fear was the weapon, and that racism can be a weapon of mass distraction, right? And I think it's Maya Angelou who said that it's a social construct, and it's just put there to divide us. And I feel like it is accomplishing that, right? It's accomplishing that. It's like people are in their silos, and I really want to break free from that. And I want to break all of you free from that, because whatever we focus on expands. Agree or disagree in the chat. If whatever we focus on expands, if you would agree with that, put agree in the chat. And so when I say that we're going higher, and that I feel such a sense of urgency for us to go higher, but not only higher, is we got to execute at a higher level. And so that's what I'm sharing with you this evening, WealthyU 3.0. I'm going to go over the journey. Okay, so Janet says agree, right? Like whatever we focus on expands. And so I am really going to be very deliberate as we go forward in WealthyU around focus. And something I'm going to talk about a little later is designed for focus. And what you're going to see even in WealthyU is I want all of you to know that there has to be a sense of accountability, and a sense of accountability on our part, and holding you accountable, and you holding yourselves accountable. Is everybody all right with that? If you're all right with that, put yes. Because in order to go higher, in order to achieve a goal of helping 1 million women get to 1 million in investable assets, but I'm even going higher there. What I'm going to be sharing with you tonight is just really the vision, right? The vision of where we're going. But before I do that, I got to take you back to how we got here, right? And I know that for many of you, this might be repetition, particularly for the OGs, right? Because I see some OGs in here. I see Janet Weldon. I consider her an OG. Who else is in here? Let me go to gallery view so I can call out a few people who've been hanging with me for a minute. And I want you guys to turn your cameras on if you can, because I want to have a deep conversation this evening with all of you. And I'm going to be sharing with you insights. We're all family, okay? So don't be scared. You don't have to be perfect or anything like that. We really created WealthyU to be a safe space. So Before I get started, it is WealthyU Wind Down. We do have a tradition for those of you. Are there any first timers in the house? Just let me know. Any first timers? If there are any first timers, just put first. Hey, Concetta's definitely an OG. Concetta, I see you out there, girl. I see you on LinkedIn, girl. You done got all them promotions. Now you don't have no time for your little WealthyU sisterhood. I see. Who else is in here? Sophonia, who is in the book Wealth Secrets, and she shared her story. And I'm so grateful for all of the women that have shared their story because they're a part of the journey. Hey. Tamiko said, cooking dinner while I watch. I'm not mad at you, girl. I'm hungry too, but listen, you do what you got to do. All right. WealthyU Wind Down. So for those of you who don't know who I am, for those we're streaming on several platforms, I'm Deborah Owens. I'm founder and CEO of WealthyU, where we're on a mission to really help 1 million women get to $1 million in investable assets so that they can create legacy wealth. But our mission is even greater than that, because it's not the asset that we're passing on in terms of legacy wealth. It's the knowledge of how to create that wealth. Listen, that's the most important asset of all. And as I was reflecting on what I'm going to be sharing with you tonight, the WealthyU 3.0 reveal, right? I'm going to be sharing with you why it's so important, why it's time for us to really accelerate and take it up a notch, because we are the ones we've been waiting for. If you agree with that in the chat, put agree. I want all of you to know that we are the ones that we are waiting for. Yes, we have to be in politics and all of that, and I get that, but we are the ones that we have been waiting for. And so it's really our responsibility, right? That's right. So Laura says she agrees. Rorette says she agrees. Gina agrees. Lisa agrees. Tamiko agrees. That's right. See, here's what I want you to know is sometimes we're looking out there for what we want, and many times it's 10 feet away from us, right? And that's always my prayer when I get frustrated, when obstacles get put in front of me, or we try something and it doesn't quite go the way that I had anticipated. My prayer is always there's a seed of an equivalent benefit in every adversity. That's a Napoleon Hill quote. What does that mean? There's a seed of an equivalent benefit in every adversity, because our credo, and I'm going to go over that a little bit tonight, is we never lose, right? We either win or we learn. And so what's really, really important, if any of you are out there and you're feeling discouraged, if you're feeling discouraged, or you're feeling like, man, no matter what I do, it just doesn't go right, what I want you to really hold on to is the fact that you're not out here by yourself. Everything that is happening is not happening to you, it's happening for you. I think I'm talking to myself now, right? It's happening for you. And when I shared with all of you how I, probably one of the most disappointing experiences that I ever had was when I was on this mission to build the WealthyU app. How many of you were hanging with me back then when I was building this WealthyU app? And I thought that was the way to reach 1 million women. And I go out and I do all these pitch competitions. And it's kind of interesting. It's like, here I am, this middle-aged Black woman, everybody else has on khakis and doesn't look like me, right? But, I felt invisible. Has that ever happened to you where you're standing out, but still you feel invisible? If that has ever happened to you in the chat, put yes, right? And, is that one of those pitch competitions when I stated my mission? I'm on a mission to help 1 million women get to $1 million. In assets. And the gentleman said, man, your presentation was great. But you know that goal you got, it's like rolling a boulder up a hill. And I mean, it was a gut punch, y'all. It was like, here I am. I'm thinking, there's nothing like a backhanded compliment. You know what I'm saying? Like a backhanded, you think, I came off that stage. I was like, I killed that. Because I have rehearsed and practiced. I have been coached. I was like, I killed that. Somebody up in here is about to invest in this app, and we're about to get it going on. And listen, this is the other thing, y'all. Not only did he tell me it was a lot of boulder rolling down the hill, he also waited around to tell me that, and I was like, oh, wow, this guy must really have something to say to me. He did, right? And so that's what I want to really share with all of you. I want, many of you have come into this journey at different times, right? At different times. Some of you have been with me a long time, though, and I'm grateful for that. And so you've really seen how this, oh yeah, look who's in the house. Bridget Roquette is in the house. That's great. I'm so glad to see so many new friends and so many old friends too, right? That have been on this mission. But here's what I want to share with you. I've got this wine staring at me. Let me first toast. It's our WealthyU wine down. If you have your glass of wine or adult beverage or water, I'm toasting. This is a toast to WealthyU 3.0. And yes, that's a Cabernet. It's very good. However, yeah, let's sisters, help this wealth with your water. Love it. But I see who is that joining me. Sharon Hayes knows what to do. Got your little wine glass. Awesome. Hey, Lynette's in the house. She's been working hard. Good to see you, Lynette. Listen, here's what I want all of you to understand, that, we have to innovate. We have to innovate. We have to adapt to the situation. Like, here's what I want you to know is grow or die. Like, if you're not moving ahead, guess what? You're dying. Agree or disagree with me, right? Like nothing grows in the comfort zone. Absolutely nothing. And here's what I've been watching. I've been observing a lot of you and a lot of my peers. And some of y'all are stuck, right? Some of you have allowed circumstances, COVID, and all of these things to give you an excuse to feel like, oh, it's okay, I'm doing okay. But what I want you to know is that although COVID came out of nowhere, right? I mean, certainly nobody was expecting it. The worst thing that you can do is isolate yourself. Okay, like that's really what I want you to tell you. I'm seeing family and friends isolated. And I know what isolation can do, because isolation causes us to hide. And then when we hide, it's like the in our mind, if we don't put something in, then what we don't want will fill it up. Would you agree with me? And that what fills it up is all the fears, all the uncertainties. And then, you put this social media in here, it just becomes really, really toxic. And my observation really is on social media. Do you ever watch people and they're constantly putting it out negative things, negative quotes, anything happen negative, and that basically is on their timeline? That's what I mean by whatever you focus on expands. And so what I want you to know that in WealthyU, our mission is really for you to become the best of who you can be, your highest self. right? Your highest self. But what I want you to know is that in order for you to get there, you've got to surround yourself with the right people. And that was a great lesson for me to learn during COVID, right? That's what I learned, the power of community and the power of like-minded folks coming together with an aspirational vision and goals, knowing that it doesn't have to happen overnight, but it can happen over time. And so as a result of that, amazing things can happen. So, you know, most of you know that we just published, and I say we, because this was a group effort, Wealth Secrets. How many of you have gotten the book Wealth Secrets? If you've gotten the book Wealth Secrets, put yes in the chat. Have you gotten the book Wealth Secrets? Yes, 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 yes. +3, I love that. I love that because yes, I would love for you to pay this forward, right? I mean, this was my heart and soul. That's what I want you to know. And what I'm going to share with you tonight is why it's so important for us to go higher and not become complacent, because this book was literally, some of it 10 years in the making, just in terms of the stories that are in here. But this book was a labor of love, but it was a labor. I want you guys to get this. I got all kind of rejections. My agent didn't even want to sell this book, right? And you know what? And in just right before it was getting published, I mean, there were all kind of obstacles being put in front of us, right? And so what I want all of you to know, that the biggest lesson I learned from this, you guys want to know what it is? If you want to know what the biggest lesson, put lesson in the chat. If you want to know what it is, the biggest lesson I learned, okay, Laura says, Brett says, Tashima says, I got to keep y'all engaged, right? That's why I do this, because I don't want you isolated. I don't want you just to be passive. I want you to be watching. You know, the biggest lesson I learned from this, the greater the opposition, the bigger the opportunity. Some of y'all need to hear this. Have you ever given up on something? The biggest lesson is, what is the biggest lesson, Janet? Is that the biggest the greater the opposition, the larger the opportunity, the larger the impact you can make. Do y'all get this? I want you guys to get this, because some of you want to give up. Even now, if you're meeting opposition, yeah, Nita shook her head, nodded her head. That's right. And what have I been telling you? Girl, lean in. How many of you are meeting with opposition right now? In the chat, if that's you, put yes. Any type of opposition. If you're meeting with any opposition, put yes in the chat. Okay, so Lisa says yes. Shima, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Anita said that that's me. What I want you to know is it's necessary. It's necessary. And do you know why it's necessary? Because when you overcome, right? When you overcome, that's when the lessons, that's when you in turn, girl, don't let me stop preaching up in here, right? When you overcome great opposition, it gives you immense confidence. Somebody needs to hear this, right? Don't you give up. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, what I would say is that opposition from others is one thing, and sometimes it is necessary for you to try something new, right? And so that's why it's so important to have that conversation with God, that relationship with God, you know. That's why it's so important, so that you can discern. But what I want you to know is that opposition is necessary, and opposition is the way that you begin to determine, right, if it's worth it for you. Anything of value, anything of worth, it took time. Agree or disagree with me? You know, we can go into diamonds and how they're made out of pearls. Out of pressure, right? Pearls, and the time that it takes that to be cultured. I mean, anything of value takes time. And that is true of wealth. So you guys may have wondered where I was going with this, right? And that is true of wealth. And what has happened in our society, we always want it fast. We want it immediate. And when we discipline ourselves in that manner, what happens is that's why we give up, right? Because if something doesn't happen quickly enough, we're on to the next thing. And what we don't realize, that's right, microwave society, right? But what we don't realize, it's important for us to stay the course. However, this is something else that I learned, and something that I'm going to share with you today. And that's why this book was so amazing. Because I learned something from this. And the greatest determinant of your success, do you know what it is? Anybody want to guess? What do you think the greatest determinant of the success? When I started writing this book, and I started reflecting on the thousands of women who've been through WealthyU, and I began to look at, and we see it in our goal models, right? Like all the stories. Well, how does someone go from, a negative net worth to being at 7 figures quickly? How does Roz reach? That's resilience, right? And Lynette says, just when you are about to give up, that's when you get your breakthrough. Here's all I want you to know. Speed. Speed. Imperfect action. The women who have had the greatest success in WealthyU, what they have in common is imperfect action. That's what they had. And so that's what I want all of you to know. 3.0, 3.0, we're speeding up, right? I mean, I've been on this. I got less time. I got less time in front of me than I do behind me. How many of you feel like that? Any of you feel like that? If you feel like that, put yes in the chat. And what I want you to know is that it doesn't take long, but what it does take is action. And what I know is that some of you are waiting on the sideline. You're kind of waiting for the perfect time for the stars to align. But what I want you to know is the stars don't align like that, right? Because that's not faith. Everything that we do that has any kind of significant impact will require us to do something that we're unsure of. I want you to just reflect on every part of your life when you made the greatest leaps. And I will assure you that is when you had the greatest fear of taking that step. But when you took that step and you stood with it, you got the greatest return. Agree or disagree with me in the chat. I want you to reflect on your, and that's what I need y'all to do. See, sometimes when we fail, it'll beat us down. And so what happens, we'll become risk averse. And listen, now here's what's really mind blowing and why I have such a sense of urgency. Far too many of you are playing not to lose. You are not playing to win. You are playing not to lose. I have reviewed your portfolios. I have been on strategic advisory. And this is the reason that we are in the state that we're in, because we're fearful. We're fearful because we lack knowledge. We lack knowledge because we won't invest in ourselves. We'll only do what we see others do. And listen, if you want something different, you got to do something different. I mean, Warren Buffett, have you guys seen my Facebook ad? Warren Buffett said, do the opposite of what other people, so you can get to a different place. If you want to get somewhere else, you got to do something different. And that's all I'm saying to you is, in WealthyU, we are going higher. Y'all ready? Time to put a little fizz in the game. Ooh, my kids would kill me if they heard me. I'm glad they're not on here. I always got to bring them jokers up, but they always be, you notice, like, now you they child telling you what to do, what not to wear, where not to go, what not to. It's like, listen, boo. Y'all better recognize. Funny thing, my daughter was here. She came and stayed a couple of weeks with us. And, I marvel at her because I still see her as this cute little girl who would go swimming and dance and do all these things. Now she grown. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm listening to her directing the people and putting in her opinion and, and I'm like, you learned a few things. But anyhow, who is ready for 3.0? Y'all ready? Okay. So hang on a second. I'm going to share my screen. Wait a minute. Wrong thing. And the other thing I need to do is okay, can everybody see this? In the chat, let me know if everybody can see the screen. I'm going to stop my video for just a minute. All right. I'm back. Sorry, guys. I had to turn on the air. Y'all, any of y'all live in the South, you got, when it get hot, you got to turn on the air. Now me, I had this fan on and I said, oh, I'm going to have some fresh air. Now I'm baking. I got these lights on. Gee whiz. Do I make y'all laugh? I just be telling y'all everything. But anyway, we family, right? Y'all feel like we a sisterhood. If we're a sisterhood, you feel like we're a sisterhood, put sisterhood in the chat. All right. Okay, so as I shared, I always start with my mom's story, right? Because that's why I'm here. I'm telling you, this woman, she poured into me just like I know many of you poured into your kids, and she wanted everything for me. She sacrificed so much for me. And in fact, it's almost the third year of her passing. No, it's 2 years, but it feels like a lifetime. So that's my mom at 18. She just got married, and that's me at 17, my high school graduation picture. And I'm on my way off to college, right? And as soon as I get in college, my parents separate. And so that just made me feel some kind of way. But the most important thing I want all of you to understand is that what I didn't want to be is a burden on my mother. I wanted to show her that I would not disappoint her, and that everything that she dreamed, that I appreciated, and that I would do right and achieve the dreams that she had for me, from, you know, a woman who sacrificed ballet, piano, modeling. I mean, any harebrained scheme I had, she was down with it. And then raised my nephew, and was the same with it she was darn near 60 and took it on my sister's child. And that's just the way she was. And I learned so much about generosity and unconditional love from her, because that was the woman that she was. But as you can imagine, me seeing what her life changed. And, you know, the interesting thing is, as we went on, as my career went on, my mother traveled everywhere with me, every book signing. And so that really was the journey, right? That's why I went into financial services, because I wanted to make sure that I could take care of myself. And then it's when I started that career that I realized I had been given the wrong blueprint. I didn't understand why I never learned this, or my parents didn't learn it. And so then I went on and I wanted to share everything I could with the world. And, you know, I took this picture out. My cousin went back, and because her husband's a photographer, and she started sending me these text pictures. And this is my first book signing, y'all. That's Every Woman's Money, Confident Investment. Check me out with my little light blue leather jacket. You know, the eyeglasses are a little different. But that began the journey to want to share with other women how the need to be able to take ownership of your own finances. Because what I found is that my mother's situation was the rule and not the exception. I mean, 9 out of 10 women are going to be responsible for their own finances. So that's what confident investing was about. And then confident investing, I get this call from Cheryl Martin, God's leading ladies, Bishop T.D. Jakes. And this was his slide in this stadium of 30,000 women in North Carolina, in the stadium in North Carolina. And then I write my next book, A Purse of Your Own. And I still, you see, that's the I don't know if you can see, that's the Kelly, who is now on Channel 8 in Washington, D.C. And my good girlfriend, Annette Stenhouse, who's Sophia is Annette Stenhouse's friend. And that was the first book, right? So in that book, I wanted to financially empower women, right? That was to go to have purse groups all up over the country. And, you know, that book, as you all know, was a seminal event for me. It got me on CNN. That was The Power of the Purse. Check me out, y'all, on the set, working it out. I just want you all to know that this has been some journey, but at the heart of it really has always been taking ownership, helping women take ownership of their financial success, and giving us access to the knowledge that we were never given and that we don't get in our formal education. If this is making sense to you guys, I mean, if you can relate to this mission, I mean, in the chat, put you can relate. You know, if you could relate to my mother's story, if you know other women like my mother who was, it may even be you, right? It may be that you were separated from your husband and then it puts you in a difficult financial situation. I mean, the point that I want to make is I've been clear, right? I knew my assignment. I just didn't necessarily know what I needed to do to really make an impact. And it was not until COVID when I had launched WealthyU and we launched the WealthyU Society, our first group coaching program, and that changed everything. Just in terms of talk about the wealth secrets, all of the stories in Wealth Secrets are a result of launching the WealthyU Society. And this was in the beginning. Look at Virginia, she's still in there. Who else is in there? Stephanie. I mean, this was at the beginning when I did that virtual. This was the Black Girl Magic Blueprint virtual. And we launched WealthyU Society. And my goodness. And that led to what? Get Wealthy, Black Star Network. That's me. I'm headed back to Chicago to talk to a bunch of financial advisors again. Made a big impact. And from there, every one of the women in Wealth Secrets, right? 2 weeks ago, we launched this book. It made bestseller on Amazon, retirement and wealth planning, personal finance. And now it's time to go higher. It's time. If you believe it's time to go higher, if you read the book and you believe that it's time for us to go higher, put yes in the chat. If you're reading the book, if you read the book, if you know, the funny thing is I was so wrapped up in writing this book, when we finally got the final manuscript, my husband has this thing he does where he makes his phone go talk to text. And so he was listening to the book because we haven't done audio yet. And he says, man, this book is really good. And I was like, it is? After all of these blood and tears, right? And then I did the same thing. And I was like, wow, this book is really great, because the difference in this book and all my other books is these are real women, and many of those women are on here tonight, right? So I had an idea, a hypothesis, right, of if I could put this information in the right format and put it in the right hands, that it could make an impact, and it is making an impact. But you know what? We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Listen, we gotta go higher. And what that requires is for the team to innovate. And that innovation really is, remember I said you got the wrong blueprint? Well, let me tell you, launching the WealthyU Society and taking women on a journey, we now have the right blueprint. And that blueprint, what you're looking at right now is the Legacy Wealth Blueprint. And the goal of the blueprint is to go from earner to owner, right? From earner to heiress, really. You are going to reclaim your financial inheritance. If you're ready to claim your financial inheritance, put yes in the chat. Because here was what I want all of you to know is that most of you would already be millionaires and have an inheritance if you had gotten this information earlier. If you agree with that, put yes in the chat. I know this to be true. Many of you are having amazing, amazing outcomes. That's right, to seem it's sad but true, but it's not sad. Because let me tell you, it's never too late, right? It's never too late. I mean, Warren Buffett didn't make his gazillion dollars. It didn't happen overnight. But it needs to happen now. That's what I want you to understand. And when you read the book, you're going to relate to this in the stories. Because this is the legacy wealth empowerment journey that every one of the women in WealthyU went through. The first thing I'm still breaking your mindsets. I had to help you make the shift from a middle-class mindset to a wealth mindset. The blueprint that we were given was not the right blueprint. That's not how the wealthy get wealthy. And that's what I discovered in my career. And so what's most important is that you no longer be fearful. And so the first thing that we do in WealthyU is you figure out your financial freedom factor, what your wealth gap is, so that you can stop feeling insecure and be inspired. You can't change what you will not acknowledge. Do you understand that? And so that's why it's important for you people ask me, what should I do, Deb? What do I say? Crunch the numbers, right? And that's why it's important. So we create that legacy wealth blueprint. And that was an innovation over time. And most of that innovation in terms of our workbook happened through WealthyU Society. And then the next part of that, once you learn, you get that WealthyU blueprint, then the next thing we got to do is we got to teach you to be an investor and not a saver. You heard me say this so many times. You cannot save your way to wealth. Can I get an amen in the chat? Put an amen in the chat if you agree with that, right? That's the point. That's what I mean. You've been playing not to lose, not to win. And so that's right. Amen, amen, Minnie, amen, amen, Roz, amen, Janet, amen, Joyce, amen. You've been playing not to lose. And so every time somebody comes, and they even know what's really deep, y'all. You know what, wait a minute. I'm just going to have to stop sharing for a minute because I need to be looking at you. I need to have a conversation with y'all. Okay? Listen. Now, mind you, I'm out here, I'm doing speeches and talks and workshops, brand ambassadors, and I'm going around and, and I'm thinking I'm giving you this information and everybody's being empowered. And then, Lord help me, we started looking at your portfolios. What's that emoji with the hand on? Y'all got 1-star. Some of y'all got 1-star funds. Some of y'all got funds that you can't even find the information on them. They hiding it so deep, right? You got fixed income annuities that got charges on them that are just egregious. But do you know why you did that? Because they knew exactly what button to push, didn't they? They said, oh, listen, I know you don't want to lose no money in the stock market. So I'm going to give you this thing that it won't go down. And if it goes up, then you get a little bit of that. Not knowing that these jokers, I got to call them jokers. That's what my coach called people. He called people jokers. I'll use that. So here you are, you saving and saving. And so here's the other thing that gets me is sometimes how we're depicted in the media is as spendthrifts and this and that. No, most of y'all the most conservative people ever, right? You're savers, you're not investors. And the reason you're a saver and not an investor is simply because you never got access to this information. So you're fearful of losing. And this industry knows that. And so the first thing they do is push that button. Well, you know, you don't want to lose your money, right? And then you like clutching your pearls. Oh no, please tell me how I won't lose my money. You cracking up, Janet. You know I'm telling the truth. You looking at your portfolio and you say, Miss Deb, I put $50,000 in here, and 10 years later, it's worth $55,000. Oh man, my blood pressure. I'm laughing for not crying. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I want you to know is that that's what WealthyU is about, shaking y'all up, giving you the insight and the information that you need so that you can make good decisions confidently and not be fearful. You know, I was on the phone with one of our members today, and she's only been in, she's on fire. I'm gonna tell y'all, I already told her, I was like, girl, I already know I'm gonna be interviewing you. You gonna be in the next. She is not playing, but you know what she said? She says, you know what? Like I knew there was something that I didn't know, and I was trying to figure it out, and I was picking up these books and I was reading them and I was falling asleep. And so what I want you to know is that everything that we've done in WealthyU is very deliberate. If you agree, if you're in WealthyU right now and you are going through our skill building sessions and you're learning how, you got your workbook and you're learning how to analyze and research stocks, if you feel like the light, right? Like the key to unlock what you think is just this complicated mess, if that door has been unlocked from you and you're finally understanding how this works, in the chat, put yes. If you're finally understanding how this works. Oh, I love that, Concetta. The light came on and the fear left. Woo, girl, I might have to quote you on that one now. You might see that on the website. Concetta said the light came on and the fear left, because that's imagery. You know, Concetta's an educator and quite the administrator, quite accomplished herself. And that's what's so fabulous about WealthyU, is the women, you come from all walks of life. And when you get access to this information and the light bulb, I see it too. You know, like when I'm on a call, y'all don't know, I just want to run and have it again. You know, I'll be like Forrest Gump. Be so happy. Really don't know. And by the way, is Maddie Hayes here now? Maddie, if Maddie is here, I got to give Maddie some kudos, right? Now, Maddie, when I started with Maddie, she had to have a granddaughter be there when I called, when we got on the Zoom. And I mean, you know, and I can't just call Maddie out. Many of you have been through that situation, right? Do you know that Maddie presented, was it stocks? It was stocks, right? Maddie presented and analyzed and researched stuff. Now, let me just tell you, that's when I know we're on assignment. I want you guys to get this. Now, the funny thing about Maddie is Maddie started, she went through her term, she left. Maddie came back. I was like, oh, okay, Maddie back, right? But some of you have been with us for years. Because what I want you to know is that we designed this for you. There's no shame, right? You can't get behind because we all starting from a different place. But the reason that WealthyU is designed the way that it is I designed it with the fundamentals. The fundamentals, the basics, the origin of the financial markets. You learn historical performance. You learn the same thing an analyst learns so that you can then put that framework and apply it to pretty much anything. Do you understand? Right? So when you do, your mutual funds, you got 5 criteria, right? And so you run that back. That's when you know you have a system. Because if you run it through it, the outcome should be the same, right? You should have a negative or a positive, right? That's sort of like math. Actually, analysis is math, right? And the same thing with stocks. Same thing, run it through. And so the point that I want to make is the reason I wanted you guys to see the journey and where we're going with 3.0 is that it built, right? And each iteration we got better because we be listening to you and we watch you. And I watch the recordings sometimes. I'm like, how come she's asking that question? She shouldn't be asking that question. Is it that she didn't do it? But if she asked the question and she didn't do it, then maybe we need to add that to that spreadsheet so that's not too hard. And so that's why we've had fabulous, wonderful women in here who are Excel gurus who created that. They made that analyze. And, back in the day, we just had some paper and you would like go in and you would write it. You thought you was back in the Stone Age. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't that bad, but no, literally they were workbooks, they were sheets. And then we put it on a spreadsheet. And then, people would come, they said, oh, well, look, I'd be analyzing, I was like, you put that in there. And so it innovated. And that's what I want you guys to know, that the power is in the community, right? And when we lean in and we're able to leverage all of our unique strengths, we can go further, faster. In the chat, put faster. Because that's what I need you to know. 3.0 is taking it up a notch and we're going faster. We're going to get there faster. We're going to get further faster. You're going to do more action. We're leveling up on our curriculum. All of the insights that I got from Wealth Secrets are being put in our new curriculum, and that is about to launch, and that's what I'm sharing with you tonight. Y'all all right? I mean, I hope you don't feel like this, like, goodness, Deb, what time is it? Okay, yeah, I'm almost at 9. See, my husband would be here. See, he's not here, so I'm off the reservation. I don't have no producing, no signs telling me, wrap it up, you're talking too much. None of it. So I'm just going to roll with it, guys. Well, that's why I'm up here, because I didn't want to go in all that technical stuff, because then some would have went wrong and he wasn't here. But anyhow, back to okay, so we're on the journey. So saver versus investor, right? So now when you move from saver to investor, now you're going to go from those average pitiful returns and those target date funds and all of that stuff where your money wasn't growing to higher returns. And then, man, that's when you accelerate. So look at the stages, right? Financial awakening. Concetta just shared that, right? Like I felt like the light went off. Now the next stage is wealth acceleration. So now we're showing you how to grow your money further. But the next level, and that's what the legacy wealth is really about, that's legacy wealth creator, right? Expanding from just mutual funds into stocks and real estates and other investments, going into high net worth strategies, individual investors, accredited investor, and then really creating it. So it's not generational wealth. And I know what we said. So the shift that we're making now is we're going intergenerational. And let me just share with you why that is so important. Why that is so important is because we're about to go through the great wealth transfer. Many of you who have reaped the benefits, right? Let me take it back to mama, right? All of her sacrifice is the reason I'm in front of you today, right? So she passed what she could on to me, right? Just like many of you passed what you could onto your children. And you passed that middle class mindset onto your children too. In the chat, yes or no? That what you learn, you passed on to your children. And so what I want you to understand is the reason we're going next level is because we're making a shift. It is no longer about what we gain in this lifetime. What is important is that not only do we leave a legacy, not only do we leave assets, but that we also pass the knowledge of how to grow and maintain those assets for future generations. And here's what I want all of you to understand. Every one of you. Every one of you listening to me on these different platforms, is that there's a great wealth transfer that is about to happen. And it's going to be all of your assets. Now, I don't care if it's a house, or I don't care if it's 401ks or life insurance. But if you don't make sure that the person that those assets pass on to have the knowledge that you're learning in WealthyU, I guarantee you the first thing they're going to do is when they get it, they're going to go out and buy. What you think they're going to buy? In the chat, let me just see. If they don't have the knowledge and you pass that money on to them, what's the first thing they're going to buy? I wish they would buy a house. They're going to buy a car. Listen, I had a friend call me, and these two young folks, they were like in their 20s, had lost both of their parents in a tragic car accident. They got $1 gazillion, right? Like a lot of money, because they got money from the insurance company and the, whatever. She was like, please, please, please talk to them, Deb. Fine, I got no problem. Them folks had already went out and bought their cars, and they didn't want to have nothing to do with me. And I'm going to tell you, within 2 years, when I ran into that lady, she was like, Deb, it's all gone. Now, don't be talking about, ooh, that's too bad, because let me tell you, that might be your children. That's all I'm saying, right? Now, it's one thing to have an estate plan and to say where you want those things to go, but it's a whole nother level, right? On when you leave here, what are you leaving? What is the structure that you're leaving? How are you going to give those assets to your kid? But more importantly, you have to be teaching them right now. Is this making sense to you? So WealthyU 3.0 is about everyone who comes into WealthyU, that you become a legacy wealth creator, and that you begin to now not only shift from the middle class mindset to the wealth mindset, but a legacy wealth mindset. That's the next level. That's what I mean by us going higher. It is not enough to just live the life that you desire. Your responsibility is to make sure that you leave a legacy and that it sustains itself. Is that making sense to all of you? Agree or disagree with where I'm going, guys? Okay. So from earner to heiress. And what I mean by heiress, I mean you are reclaiming your inheritance. And you are going to make sure that that heiress that you have, you know what the greatest asset that you have gained in WealthyU? It's the knowledge of how to build wealth, and no one can ever take that away from you. So yes, our goal is going up. We're going higher. We're teaching 1 million women how to build and accelerate their financial growth, because I want you to become the catalyst for intergenerational wealth. Ladies, this is not about us. And we're going to be the go-to platform for women who want to create legacy wealth. And so our WealthyU credo is we never lose. We either win or we learn. And so we, all of us are winners. And now we're going to take this WealthyU Legacy Wealth Blueprint that we created that is aligned to the Secrets book, and we're going higher. And so if you go to our website right now, you'll see that we have revamped the website. We are going higher, ladies. What do you think about the website in the chat? Do you think are we aligned? Are we moving in the right direction? Are we going higher? We have you know, we've been working hard. That's all I'll tell you. You know, so often you don't realize what it takes to stay relevant, to grow. But I want you to know that we're serious about it. You all invest your dollars in WealthyU, and we want you to know that you're getting a return on investment. We want you to go higher. We want you to have a great experience. And so to that end, this is, we're just about to go live with the curriculum. That's what the new course looks like. Everything will be consistent and aligned. And the course is based on the Wealth Secrets book. That becomes our new textbook, if you will. What we're launching as well is our WealthyU Insiders Network. The WealthyU Insiders Network will be our monthly WealthyU newsletter. There'll be a winner's t-shirt. As people come into our community, they'll actually get the Wealth Secrets book. Our community, our WealthyU Wind Down is only gonna, in Zoom, it'll only be for members. If you're not a member, then you will get us streaming, like many of you are probably watching us now on Facebook. Our WealthyU Insiders Network will get access to open house quarterly to some of our skill building events so that they can see what all of you that are members experience. They'll get virtual VIP tickets to our challenges, access to our masterclass vault, and also we are revamping our WealthyU affiliate program with this WealthyU Share Builder rewards. In the past, you had to be a member, but if you are a member of the WealthyU Insiders Network, then you'll get a get access to that benefit as well. I gotta give kudos to Roxanne Johnson, one of our former ambassadors, who is taking this challenge on. She's a fabulous business writer, and she'll be bringing that monthly WealthyU newsletter every month and coordinating all of these activities. So that is launching. That's really making sure that when you come into WealthyU, that you begin to feel like you belong. Of course, WealthyU Insider Network, get it? Winners. And that's what we want all of you to be. And so we're changing our overall course platform, our overall programs. Our WealthyU Society will become the Legacy Wealth Builder. And so that will still be our 12-month program that will change to our new curriculum, but nothing changes fundamentally about how we teach you how to analyze and research stocks and portfolio. That legacy wealth blueprint really is the journey that all of you have been taking in WealthyU. One of the things, though, I am launching, this is something that I haven't done in over 3 years. I am launching a 6-week intensive. It's called the Legacy Wealth Intensive. It's limited. Some of you have already applied. And if you haven't applied, let me make sure, team, that we put that link in the chat for the WealthyU application, if we can do that. But it's a 6-week program. It's going to start on August. The official date is August 7th, but it's launching on August 1st. That's going to be a 6-week program. It's every Monday. It's designed specifically for folks who are not in WealthyU, but want to get further faster. When you apply, I'll go over what the program entails. It's meeting once every Monday. You're going to have that Excel workbook. We're going to create your legacy wealth blueprint. You're going to analyze and optimize your existing programs. And when you leave, you are going to, when you go through this course, after 6 weeks, you're going to have your 7-figure blueprint, right? So it's basically an accelerator, right? And so for those of you, I can't take a lot of people, but for those of you who aren't in WealthyU and you're saying, man, this is the chance. This is a chance for me to get further faster. The cost is $2,997, right? It's a 6-week program, and and that's what I mean by you guys going further faster. I've got to get you guys really, really laser, because I know that the faster you go, right? The faster you get started. Remember, I told you one of my insights on the women in this book who got got further the fastest. You know what they had in common? They took action. And so what will happen, just going back to the program. Uh-oh, wrong one. For some reason, it doesn't want to pull up the right one. We'll do it this way. Okay, can you guys see that? Am I on Legacy Wealth Builder? If you can, put that in the chat. Okay, so let me just go back and tell you the revamp. So really, our main program is going to be the Legacy Wealth Builder. That'll be the curriculum that we'll all matriculate into. This intensive is for you to get 6 weeks, analyze, optimize, and maximize. We're not doing stocks. We're not doing all of the things that we do in our regular legacy wealth. You will come out of that program. You will be real clear about where your gaps are, what your underperforming investments are, and what you need to do. So it's going to be all analysis and implementation. And then if you want to move on into the Legacy Wealth Builder program, you will be able to do that and get credit for the investment that you made. So our Legacy Wealth Blueprint, our Legacy Wealth Builder curriculum, our Legacy Wealth Workbook, that's the workbook that all of you work out of now. There'll be one 1/2-hour strategy session and one 1/2-hour implementation session. And every week on Monday night at 8 o'clock, they will be weekly skilled strategic sessions, and it will be all about you implementing. analyzing, optimizing, and maximizing. I love intensives because they allow me to get laser focused. But the reason you're applying is because I need to know if you've got the right mindset. You're going to make an investment, and I need to make sure you're in the right headspace to get a return on that investment. And my objective is really to really have you lean in and see what it will take for you to go to the next level. So our Legacy Wealth Accelerator remains the same. That's our highest level program. Not only do you learn how to analyze and optimize and maximize, but you also have one-on-one hourly sessions with me, access to my calendar, bi-weekly office hours. This is really for high touch. This is really for those of you who really feel like you need accountability and support. Many of the people in our WealthyU society, now what will be called our Legacy Wealth Builder, will matriculate up into the Legacy Wealth Accelerator. So you get everything you do in the Legacy Wealth Builder, or what is called WealthyU Society now. But the other things that you get access to are high net worth strategies. And so it's tax advantaged investing, how to build a dividend portfolios, accredited investing, real estate investing, option strategies. We're going into multifamily homes. So it's next level, right? And this really is what all of you need to be aiming for if you're going to be a legacy wealth creator. So you're going to grow it, right? You're going to grow it. Mindset, strategy, that is our legacy wealth system. Shift from an income to a wealth mindset. Identify your unique investment opportunity levers. They're different for everybody. And create your wealthy system. So I just want to briefly, though, go back over, this is the journey. And so if you think about it, this is what we're going to be going through in our Legacy Wealth Intensive, right? When we go this area here, this is really our Legacy Wealth Builder program is now what is WealthyU Society, where you learn how to analyze, optimize, and maximize your investments with the whole goal of getting you to expand from just mutual funds into stocks. In Legacy Wealth Builder, you're learning how to analyze and research mutual funds, learning how to analyze and research stocks, build a portfolio. And then Legacy Wealth Creator, that's really expanding beyond just mutual funds and stocks, getting into the things that you're going to need to do in order to build wealth, right? But not only build wealth, leave a legacy, right? That's what I want all of you to understand, is that the next level is not just building wealth for ourselves. It's transferring that knowledge to others. And by the way, let me welcome our newest ambassador, Linda Crooms. Linda, say hello to everyone. Linda was sitting right where all of you. I'm always recruiting. And just know, if you feel like you've mastered and internalized these concepts, and you want to help us build, support, hold other accountables, all you have to do is to reach out to your ambassadors. So in the chat, I would like to know, I want to get interest. How many of you, if you're going to apply to the program, put apply in the chat. If you're going to apply to the 6 wealth attendants, you can put it in the chat, or if you're watching us online, put apply in the in your comments. If there's a link for more information about becoming WealthyU Insiders, yeah, that's going to launch on August 7th. Okay, that's going to launch on August 7th. Just know we already have 3 folks in to that program. And so I am limiting, that's going to be a very small program. I'm gonna limit it to 10. I'd love for it to be 10, maximum of 15. Because if this, and here's the other thing I want you to know, is that investment that you're making, that is founders pricing, that's typically what I do when I'm coming out the gate, right? Because I'm going to be spending a lot of time with you. And my goal really is when you literally are going to have your 7-figure blueprint, right? If you read Wealth Secrets, and then we're going to be analyzing and researching your individual investments. You're going to get the experience, a little bit of an experience like the Legacy Wealth Accelerators folks do. I mean, we go in and they making moves. None of that, I'm going to get to it. Oh, no. They know that there's a task to be done, right? And then the next time you learn it, we're executing on it. We go right in. You're going to be making some moves. Okay. So this isn't for everybody, right? That's all I want to say. But if you know you've been sitting on the fence and maybe you've been reluctant because of the investment or whatever, right? And you feel like you want to jumpstart, some of you who have been in WealthyU and left, right? This will be a great way for you to get back in and get on track for an investment that's not designed to, here's the other point I want to make. Because I know a lot of you have a lot of fear about investing in money, and you think, oh my gosh, this is so much money. I'm not going to laugh about this, but some of y'all know. Y'all are up hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if you could invest a few $1,000s, or some of you in Legacy Wealth Accelerator, I know for a fact, not only have you hit your first 6 figures, but some of you are about to hit 7. All I want you to know is that the investment that you make, the knowledge that you get, our new book, Wealth Secrets, is sharing with you exactly what these women did to get to their first 6, 7 figures. But can I be frank with you all? Here's what I know is the most valuable thing. The most valuable thing is not our curriculum, even though it's great, right? The most valuable thing is not me, even though it took me 30 years to learn all this and I'm transferring it to you, what it took me 30 years to learn, right? And perfect and build curriculums and all of that. It's not that. Is it your ambassadors and your member success advisors? Yeah, there's some bad sisters. They've been where you were there. They listen to me rant and rave in our little team meetings, and they're still committed. The most important thing, the most valuable thing are these women. You're now going to have a sisterhood. You're now going to be with other like-minded women. You're no longer going to have to feel like, somebody telling you, you talk about his money, right? You're going to be around people who, when you go on and you're presenting and analyzing and researching and presenting your investments, you're going to have people cheering you on. Right? You're going to be able to, make a mistake and not feel ashamed because maybe you didn't know some term or terminology. We designed this for you. And so for those of you who, if you did put apply in the chat or you use the link, just know that you're going to get on my calendar within the next day or so. And we're off to the races with the Legacy Wealth Intensive. We will be, our new curriculum and all of that will be rolling out. I mean, I do have a target date of August 7th, but I try to give my little technology people some grace. So I gave them the 7th. Actually, I gave them the 3rd. But we'll see how that works out, right? But just know we've got big changes in store for you. We will continue to go higher to serve you with a higher capacity. And with that, I'm going to open up for questions. Who's got questions? You can use the reaction button. Just raise your hand. How did WealthyU 3.0 meet your expectations? Was the reveal what you hoped it had been? I would love to hear some feedback from all of you, or you are welcome to put it in the chat. All right. Well, that is going to do it for me this evening. Anita, thank you for staffing me this evening. And Virginia, I see you are here as well. Linda Kroons, our newest ambassador. Thanks for all of you. If you're ready to go higher, put higher in the chat, because that's exactly where we're going. I need for you guys to know that I need you to get further faster. And the reason I need you to get further faster is because I need for you to internalize all of these concepts so that we can pass it on to our children, right? Not only our children, our family, our inner circle. You know, some of you, I really want to encourage you to refer your friends, have them come to WealthyU Wind Down. Give them the Wealth Secrets book. If we're going to get to 1 million, the only way we're going to get there, is if each one of us do what we need to do to bring the people in our immediate circle and family, to allow them to get access to this knowledge too, so that they can pay it forward. So with that, I'm going to bid you all a good night. And thank you so much for joining us for WealthyU 3.0. You're going to be getting a lot of communication in the days coming. So just know that we're going to try to over communicate and make sure that we make this transition and that we go higher. So good night, everyone, and thanks so much for all that you guys do.